I want to work on the game a little bit. First thing I'm going to do is go back to that. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, let's get this on the right screen. Because we've made some compiler changes recently, let's just get our shell running. Wow, everything's on the wrong window. We turn off the tea water. We'll get our shell attempting to link nil values or index nil values. All right, so let's just make sure that we can compile and run. We can compile. We can run. It's all good. This level's got some weird stuff in it, but that's okay. Okay. So, the first thing I want to do is go add another option to that command that we put in last stream, or whichever the stream that was, to export .obj files, which are ways of, we can use that to export geometry from the game level back into a 3D editor, coalescing multiple objects so that people can use that to build levels with. So that lives in editor commands, right? And we had one down here, command obj. And I just want to add a size. And then the place where we gave this to people to use it was in this key map. Sometime I think we're going to want to support named parameters. Actually, let's do this. So we're going to say size is 100.0. And then, or we'll call it scale. That's better. Where did we put? It's not here, so did we make a file? We did. We'll add that scale parameter and pass it. And I think we just do the scale here. All right, we leave the normals and all that stuff. I think that's it. I think that's it. Now, I don't really have a way to test this, so we're going to have to let people Control O. Why are we not exporting? Argument 2 is not a float. Whoa. Why not? Oh. Right. Export 100.0. No. Okay. Exported. So run tree exports. Let's get rid of everything. We'll do a new one. Exported. Okay, so we've got a material file and an OBJ file, and we'll just drag this over there. And the numbers are a lot bigger. All right, so let's check that in, and we'll hope that everybody says, wow, why do I have so many windows open? Steam, go away. Friends. Okay, that's fine. Why do I have two Emacs? I guess I started a new one today. We'll close the old one. Why not? This freaked me out because when I looked at it in the Alt tab, it almost looks like a bunch of product codes for games. So I was like, oh my God, I just streamed 100 product codes for one of our games. But that's not what it was. Okay, I'm going to send an email saying, well, first I'm going to check it in. Add scale option for export. Okay, and then there we go. Okay, I just modified the export command to take a scale argument to control O's now. Okay, then I will send this out to the email thread. I will do that off stream so that not everyone sees everybody's email address. Okay, and I'll cross that off the list. Boom. Not a big deal, but that's how we get things done. Some people at some companies take an entire week to do that amount of functionality, so we could feel good about ourselves. Sort of. I mean, we wouldn't be satisfied with that, but seriously, that's some people's idea of productivity. What percentage of my time is allotted to compiler, Sokoban, and or another game I'm working on? I don't have any official division. I just do what I feel like. And if it goes for a long time without me giving attention to one of the projects, then I tend to feel really bad about it, and that drags me onto that. However, I will say that the new game is not getting enough of my attention yet. The non-Sokoban game. Since I dropped the SOA idea, how do I arrange objects in memory in a high-performance way? We didn't drop the SOA idea. We dropped the way it was implemented. We're going to bring it back in a different way. Are .obj files the best for 3D models? No, they are not even close. Not even close. Later on, we might change the format to like FBX or something. It's just, we had an OBJ exporter because that's what I used in 1996. And it's a text format that's easy to read and so forth. Okay. There's another thing I want to do, which is, so we have this system when, let me find a thing that logs. I'm in a new thing. Yeah. So here, for example, I have this call to log print. And when we call log print, it does a whole bunch of stuff. Some people on the stream will have seen this before. You know, we print it to standard output with maybe some color. Maybe I'm going to make a note to move this to startup and add UTF-8 for one of the demos. For tomorrow's demo, I figured out how to set the console internally to the program to UTF-8. So that'll be good. Let me write that down. Move, color, add UTF-8 in it. But before we do that, so we have this goofy thing that happens where one of the things we do with logging is we send it to the console, which is this thing that, you know, I can drop down at any time. Why can't Windows understand that this is on the left and put the window over here? We're going to have to add code. Detect taskbar on left, move window. So sad. So sad that I have to do that. It's the year 2018. Microsoft would rather do the Windows Store than understand that things shouldn't pop up under the taskbar. And then, of course, I scrubbed this back and forth a little bit, so it had to wipe all the windows off. Thank you. Anyway, this console, you know, this is where I can do stuff like, like type in commands and whatever. So that's all good. Now, if I add this log message, so I haven't compiled this yet, right? I saved this file, but I didn't recompile with that in. So if I recompile with that in, now, there we go. We have error test highlighting. Of course, we don't highlight things in the frickin' editor. We only do it here. Okay. Now, there are some cases in which, now I don't understand exactly when this happens, but there were some cases in which we would get an error message, like we were trying to print glyphs that didn't exist. And that seemed to be happening in common error messages. And I don't remember, I thought this would trigger it, and it didn't, just because it has a new line in it. Maybe I do two new lines. Maybe it's like, maybe we cut one new line off the end and the second one, no? Okay. How about, well, how do I get this to happen? Let me look at the font errors. It's not called font. What? What happened? Oh, it's probably here. Okay, so it was this one. Unable to find a glyph. Well, that just has a new line at the end. Well, let me get some UTF-8 characters off the web that I know we will not have in this font, like Tibetan text, Unicode. I could just do Chinese. All right. Like, we don't have these. So I'm going to go to main. Hello. Wow, Emacs does that correctly. That's pretty sweet. I wonder what people do. They just have a list of fonts, and you just go down all the fonts till you find the ones. UTF-8. Okay. So we don't do that. We don't have a Tibetan font. So let's see what happens there. Well, I think that's fine. So maybe I was misinterpreting what's happening. Really, I think what I want to do is not bother people in game with this. I think we want to filter that out. So I think we're just going to say, if the place this comes from is font, just don't, just log it to the file, but don't put it there. Maybe in the long term, we'll make a system that loads trillions of fonts. I thought that it was like putting bullets at the end or something, but it might have just been the period at the end of the sentence, frankly. Do I use the FBX SDK to deal with FBX files? We don't deal with FBX files. If we did, we probably wouldn't use the FBX SDK. We'd probably do it ourselves. Do I only make a living off of my games? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Do you mean, do they only make enough for me to live? No, we run a whole game company. Come on, bro. All right. So we're just going to, we're just going to do this. Where does the thing that go to console? Oh, we have a sanitize. What does that do? Oh, that's it. Fine. Yeah, doesn't really filter anything out yet. What does break into lines? I'm not quite sure what's happening there. So we look for a new line, carriage return. So we're just stripping multiples. Okay. So you know, this comes in, we have the ident and the message. So we're just going to say separate console tabs for different kinds of info. That would be a good thing to do. Console tabs. Because we want a tab for animation. So if ident is equal to font, nothing for now, else, bam, okay. Okay, well, all right, so we don't get our font warning there, but if I look in the file, there, we get our font warnings. So that's working as planned, and then I've made a later feature like, hey, just put it in another tab. That's good enough for now. That also is about how much a lot of people do in a day, sadly, so we've done 2 days of work. Filter out font messages from going to the main console tab. There will be more tabs later, I guess. Oh, someone else is doing work. What are they thinking? It's like barely 9 in the morning. The console said it couldn't find the UTF-32 code point, but used UTF-8 in the file. Yeah, I mean, it just, so the front end of the font stuff converts UTF-8 to UTF-32, and then everything is UTF-32, right? UTF-8 is the encoding for the file, but when we look up glyphs, we don't want to have to think about the encoding. It makes it much easier if you don't. Is there a good library for generating bitmap font or meshes at runtime? We use free type or right now. Maybe we use STB true type in the future. Okay. I am going to move out this this color and UTF-8 in it thing. Where was that? This thing. This ANSI color enabled. Okay, we're going to make that a global because this is going to happen elsewhere. We're just going to delete this because from today's demo, I have a superset of this, or tomorrow's demo. Okay, so then I'm going to go to main. So we're going to do that, right? So what this does is it sets the code page to Unicode UTF-8 for the console. And then, you know, we say enable virtual terminal processing, which turns on the colors. So now you can use colors from anywhere. Previously, this was buried in the console system. So if somebody else wanted to print things, they would have to worry about whether there's color or not. Okay, so now let's make sure. Okay, and Commander also finds these characters. That's great. I don't know how people really do that. I mean, they must have like 50 fonts and just search them in order to find all the characters. Because there isn't like a font that has all the characters in it, right? And then the problem is those fonts' ideas of scaling are weird with respect to each other. Like these characters are probably a little small and offset downward. So, all right, so we did that. Well, I should run it from a new console that's not set to anything. So okay, it worked. This one doesn't have those characters, but it knows they're 4 characters, which is how you know it's working. Otherwise, it would be just like spam. Okay. So that's like 3 days of work now, or 2.5 days of work. It's all good. Oh, I have a note here. About how I was seeing that error, maybe. Okay, we're seeing a bullet at the end here. Which is weird. That's standing in for an unknown character. That's what I was remembering. Good thing I wrote it down on the piece of paper. Interesting. Let's just look for that. Well, let's look in the log. Okay, it's just it's a 10. Right, so it's a line feed. I don't know why we have a line feed there. Let's fix that. Really? Why do we have a line feed? Command output. Wait, this is command output. Why am I doing all this? Okay, I got it right in those places. Here, I just didn't. I was smoking crack. Okay. Let's make sure that compiles, because that has nothing to do. Oh, let me get rid of this stupid console. All right. Whoops. Okay, so we still have a 10 there. I'm confused as to why. Why? Does sanitize not do that? Why is the game calling SVN? Because we use source control in the editor here. Like if I make a new object, like if I copy this person and whatever, that becomes a new file in source control. You know, with this number as the file name. Did I remove the question mark? What question mark? What question mark? Yeah, I'm confused about, so I could just knee-jerkily make sure sanitize gets rid of character 10 at the end of things. But I'm confused about why would that do it and nobody else does it? It's just a string with a new line. I mean, you know, this thing. This thing is a string with a new line, right? We're going to put that back. And we do not get a bullet at the end there, right? It's only this one. This is where you start looking down the rabbit hole and it becomes a really weird compiler bug. Okay. Is it everything in font? Oh wait, no, this isn't in font. This is, right, this is here. Unable to parse. This is a Boolean. So command output. Oh, it's because we call add to console directly. Okay. Okay, the deal is we're not calling log print here. So when we say command output, we don't usually have a new line. That's all. Because it's expected that we're outputting one line and we don't call sanitize. Okay. In the future, if we wanted to call multiple lines there, we could. Or, you know, call sanitize or something. It's just not the way we use it right now. There we go. That was very simple. Okay, what was I even checking in? I don't know. Checking in something. Is the mesh for the white cube-ish rock weird? Why do I want many triangles with a small angle? Because when you make a hard cube, it looks stupid. It's just, these aren't final meshes. These are just ways of... Oh, do you mean this part here? That's just what happens when you automatically triangulate something in a mesh program, right? If you, say if you put a vertex in the middle and made a fan out of it, that gives you triangles that are less thin, but it gives you one more triangle than you get in this case. And so 3D packages tend to do this rather than introduce a new vertex, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, so what happened is, you know, they just made a, they probably made this with CSG, right? They started with a cube and chopped some pieces off, and then they're like, okay, polygonize this face, and that's what you get from a 3D package when you do that. In the old days, you would definitely say that it would be preferable to not have tiny angles like this, but these days, it really doesn't matter as far as I know. We fixed that a long time ago. Okay. Now, I'm not sure what to do. So one thing I could do is start adding these console tabs that I was talking about. I kind of am feeling that, but not totally. Oh, clicking in these doesn't understand the console. Can click through console in editor. That's annoying. Can I type? No. Console gets the text, just not the click. Let's fix that. That's a small, easy thing. Because this is a stream of small things. This isn't going to be a stream of like bigness. Stream of small things. I just answered the font rendering question a minute ago, so we're not going to answer that right now. Okay, so when I click, I haven't looked at this code in a while. So we supposedly check that here. Look at all this commented out code. Let me see. So I think there are other, do we have other text fields? Not really. Let me see. I'm going to move some stuff around so that I have undo. So I can do this. Whoa. Okay. So at least one very bad thing happened there, and then the crash. So if you heard that sound effect, it was reevaluating gameplay stuff in the editor, which it shouldn't be doing. All right. There. Will this crash? No. Okay. So we're gonna have to debug that. But what I wanted to know is, can I? Yes, I can. Okay. What procedure is this in? Yeah. Oh boy. We've got a few things to clean up. Oh, but this tests the panel. So does this. Really, I don't understand why I'm doing this with this hack. Like, I should be using this UI declare occlusion. So we got x0, x1, y0, y1. Right. And we draw all that, and then right, we declare occlusion. Well, we don't really have I'm going to say pointer we're going to declare occlusion pointer x0, y0, x1, y1, and then is solid true. All right, let's try that. See if that helps. Yep, unless I'm missing the button. Yep. So why did I have that stupid hack? Sometimes you just put in a stupid hack. I'm just making sure all this stuff works so I could scroll bar. Oh, wait. So here's what's going on is my y0 is just this. It's not including the input, right? So it's not a real think. It's a little bit misleading, variable names. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, but then if I go here, nope. And then if I go here, we're all good. We're all good. That's great. Let's get that back where that goes. Now, this I shouldn't need to do now. Yep. So that's great. Remove a stupid hack. And that's good because as I was searching through the file, I saw other people who were calling, you know, UI button was pressed and not paying attention to the console. And I was like, uh-oh. Fix console click through situation. That's how you do it. You find new problems. You got to stomp on them sometimes. You got to stomp on them. So the other thing we got to stomp on is why the hell was undo on the palette level crashing our action? Okay. Well, boy, I'm staring at these pages and they have all these things crossed out. This is the compiler one. This is the game one. So yeah, we've been owning again still. These were all rewritten a couple days ago and they're all crossed out. Yeah, let's look at this crash. Let's not build x64 because I want to debug now. Let's run the debugger. And we'll start the game. And we will do some stuff on the... I think I just grabbed one of these and I was moving it around. And then I did some undo. Okay, that was bad, first of all. Oh, that's just... I tried to undo to frame 0 on the palette level. What? Manager is a super corrupted situation. Draw guy at. Okay, this is not what I thought it was at all. This is a strange mystery. This might just have to do with the way that we start the editor up. So if I start the editor on this palette level, what if I just hit Control Z? Nothing. Okay. I'm going to turn on dead. Control Z. Okay. Going back to frame 0 only on the palette level messes things up. But like, for example, if I load this level, I'm going to change lots of things, right? Frame 0 is fine. So something about the way that I'm loading the palette level is not respecting what it needs to respect. Okay. Well, where do we load this level? No surprise. So we say make and activate new open world. Okay, let me look at what do we do when we load a game. So when we load a game, the way I did with that level, we do it through a key binding. I say Control L. So here in the Control L, new open world loading original of gameplay level, right? So I can go to editor, key map. I don't know, yeah. Editor key bindings, loading original. So we call make and activate new open world, just like we do there. We load entities, just like we do there. Okay, so the only difference is here we call undo mark beginning. I like having short names for things. Yeah. So if you don't mark the beginning in the undo system, then yeah, who knows what the hell's going on. All right. So okay. So one problem is fixed. That problem of running the gameplay code is not fixed, and I would like to fix that. Okay. Okay. That's half of this task. Now, was that? Let's build LLVM again. Because I have a feeling that we're calling post undo reevaluate. I don't think we should do that. I just want to verify. Yeah, this is like deciding all sorts of things. What if I say if manager dot, how do I? Editor? How do I know if it's an editor? I don't remember what it's called. Editing. Is it called is editing entity manager? Editing manager. I don't know. It's got to be a member on Entity Manager, right? For editing. Yeah. Like, I just don't want to hear that sound. Did it. Okay, that's weird. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to rerun this. We are going to break in play sound. Figure out how we got there. Sound catalog. Play sound. Is this the low level one? Let's see if we have other overloads. That just calls the other overload. Yeah. All right. So in theory, we are breaking there. And there we go. Evaluate all light player states from gem moved from update physical position. Right. If. Look how long it took. You probably can't tell, but I typed if and it came out half a second later. This is a thing that happened when I refactored. Don't eval gem states in the editor. Maybe later we want to do that for visual purposes, though. If so, then it's time to do sound effects. I don't know, man. Okay. So we're building, we're starting, we're doing this. You guys probably have the desktop volume down really low, so I don't even know if you're hearing this sound. All right. It's still happening. Bro. Okay, we don't want to break here yet. We want to get in the editor. How are we here? Entity Manager for editing. Is this actually in the gameplay worlds? There isn't a gem in the gameplay world. Let's. Do I use ECS? No. Okay, what is the entity ID? It's 108. So there's one gem here. It's, oh, 16.8. Yeah, that's this one. Okay, the problem is this entity manager is not getting set as being for editing, I guess. That's my theory. For editing equals, like maybe that only happens somewhere. New open worlds. This is so weird. Manager.for editing. Well, no. Okay. That's fine. Okay, that's, did I never set for editing anywhere? That would be weird. Hey, look, it's not making the sound anymore. Well, this is, whoops, this is bothering me. I'm going to edit this and save and reload because this is slightly scary when a variable like that supposedly everyone's paying attention to never had been set, then who knows what the hell's going on. All right. Fix for editing not being set. Weird. Okay. You know, I think that might be enough. That was a small thing stream. It's maybe time for me to go to my actual work day and work on actual things. Are there any specific questions about what happened in this past hour? Sorry it was such a short stream, but that's what happens when I stream before going to work. Can I recommend you one good book? You're going to have to be specific about what kind of book. Sorry. Sorry. I tore another notebook page. It's what happens when they don't make this notebook easy enough for me. I'm getting 2 new pieces of paper to rewrite both of these to-do lists. Sokoban list has many things crossed off. So we go from these scribbles to just that. Of course, there's many more things to do on the game than actually this. These are just sort of the pending items that feel relevant in the near future. And then I'm going to rewrite the compiler one as well. Look at all that. Is the real work a different project entirely? No, it's just a combination of, I don't know, like I don't always work from home, you know? A good Tai Chi resource. You got to learn from an actual teacher. You can't really, I don't think it would be very effective to try to learn Tai Chi online or from a book. You fix the taskbar problem, calling system parameters info get work area. Yeah, you get the, I guess you get that, and then you pass that rect when creating the window. I'm going to write down that that's the call. Actually, let me just copy and paste it. Thanks for looking that up. So we're going to put that in the to-do. Oh, there was one other thing. In here, Sokoban, line 2911, I wanted to get condense some stuff. Like this, if not doing undo, and this, if not doing undo. We just put those together. Those are not ordered. Yeah. Why use a notebook instead of a simple text file? Because a notebook pages feel better to me. It is satisfying to cross things out. And I already have enough files on my computer. I don't need more files. I've got plenty of files. How come you're not doing the Unity build batch file thing? Using Visual Studio only as a debugger. Because it's just not how I do it. It hasn't been necessary. I mean, I should have Emacs set up for MetaX compile, so I just hit F7 and it compiles the program, but I don't have that set up even. That would be faster. I wouldn't have to ping back and forth with file names and all that. Am I flying to San Francisco each day? No. Why would I do that? Okay, any more on-topic questions while I rewrite this list? On topic for the stream today. Oh, that one's done. I did that last night. Wow. Compiler. I don't really want to comment much on current events. I know about as much about it as anyone. Do I usually include editor code in the final game, or do we write two separate programs? No, it's one program, but we include a variable about is this being compiled for developers or not, right? And if it's for developers, we include a bunch of code, not just the editor, but a bunch of other things too. And if it's not for developers, we take all that out. Well, there's the compiler list. That's much shorter than that. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming by, and we'll stream again. We're doing a demo tomorrow night at 7 p.m. I already announced that on Twitter. And who knows? Maybe we'll do another morning stream. We'll see what happens. See you later. Let's figure out who to host. Who are we hosting today?